What I am currently standing in front of is the rarest trim of Ford Bronco ever released.
Produced model years 2022 to 2024.
Ford estimates less than 1,200 Ford Bronco Everglades ever left the factory.
However, there are really no confirmed production numbers. So in 2022, 23, and 24, there's only estimates of how many actual Bronco orders were released, how many Broncos were actually produced. But what the thinking is that less than 1% of all the production, each of those model years, was a Bronco Everglades.
Hello everybody and welcome to Performance on Wheels. My name is Austin. My dad Todd and I, we make all sorts of different car videos on all sorts of different cars. Today we check out the rarest Ford Bronco ever made. And just before we start diving deep into the rarest Bronco ever made, the Bronco Everglades, I need to give a huge shout out to Apple Ford Shakopee here in Shakopee, Minnesota for supplying this Ford Bronco Everglades to us today. If you guys are interested in purchasing this Ford Bronco Everglades, be sure to check out the link down in the description below, where you can find it for sale for $49,999.
Here at Performance on Wheels, we have been a big fan of Broncos for a handful of years now. We started with owning a two-door Big Bend, then we transitioned after an experience at the Bronco Off-Road Rodeo to a four-door Wildtrak. We have all sorts of videos on both of those vehicles on our channel. So today it's truly fun to check out the Everglades, knowing the rarity of this vehicle. It's really fun to dive into what makes this vehicle unique compared to those other trims. Although the Everglades was available in other colors, and I say was because after 2024, the trim is dead. The green is what really stands out. The green is what the promo vehicles are in. It makes sense just with the name Everglades, and it looks absolutely fantastic with the way that Ford produced the Everglades with the different options that came from it. Now, the Everglades essentially started with the black diamond trim, and then we added accessories from there. And now we're going to start telling you about the accessories that came with the Everglades.
And now a quick word
from today's sponsor.
This is the Highboy P6 electric mountain bike. Thanks to a powerful electric motor, hill climbs have never been easier. And with 60 miles of range, you can spend all day on the trails. Thanks to these fat tires, you can ride this thing year-round. This adjustable front fork with lockout is extremely fun to take out on the trails and makes it easy to do hill climbs. And for safety, the Highboy comes equipped with a light and a horn.
This is the Highboy Max Pro. Whether your commute takes you on-road or your adventure takes you off-road, the Max Pro has you covered. Thanks to the Max Pro's pneumatic tires and full suspension, it makes your adventure easy as can be. With a weight capacity of 265 pounds and a range of over 40 miles, you can rock your Max Pro all day long at speeds over 20 miles per hour.
I genuinely love this company's products and I highly recommend them. I've had so much fun taking these out on the local trails by my house on these beautiful fall days here in Minnesota. If you guys are interested in purchasing a Highboy, be sure to check out our link down in the description below for an additional 5% off of your purchase. And starting up front, the only Bronco ever to come with this standard, a 10,000 pound Warren winch. Now it's pretty cool the way that this whole thing works. Check it out. Check this out, right? So it comes with this little controller. You just pull this guy up right here. It's already pre-wired all in from the factory, of course. So you just go ahead and plug this controller right inside of here, and you now can control your winch from this guy here. So I put it on free spool, which means that I should be able to pull this out. And as you can see, once you plug this controller in, this winch is ready to go. You simply just press in or out and use your winch just like that. Now, this is the only Bronco, like I said, that comes with a winch, and what that winch is attached to is this modular front bumper, which is also Everglades specific. It looks super cool. I think this is the most aggressive looking front fascia on any Bronco ever produced. Now, transitioning from the front of the Everglades onto the side, we have something that I had no idea was different: squared off fenders. Now take a peek at the front and rear fenders of this Everglades. And as you can see, if we compare it to your normal Bronco, it has more of a squared off look to it. Now, I don't think the body's any different at all. The body looks the same, but the way that these fenders actually look when you pay attention to them make it look like the actual molding of the body is different with that design there. And you can clearly tell that it also increases like the overall area inside of the fender well. So.
Yeah, and you're completely right with that, Austin, but not only do they look different, but they also feel different. They're like a little more rigid.
Yeah.
And just the concept of the Everglades is like the swampy, the backwoods, like going through the muck, right? So you've got that extra weight with the winch up front, but you do only have the lighter four-cylinder as an option in the Everglades. You could not get the V6 EcoBoost. Transitioning back just a little further, you have the graphics for the Everglades. Everyone came with that graphics, and it looks really cool, right?
It looks incredible. If you actually look nice and close at this, check out some of these close-up shots just to see how detailed this is. It's like a map layout of Sasquatch sightings. It's a really, really cool design.
Some cool topography on there. And before we continue on, take in the 17-inch wheels. They are specific to the Everglades. You cannot get those in any other model. And let's not lose sight of the roof rack as we continue to move back on the Everglades. That's a really cool option that obviously you can put your gear up there if you're really getting back into the woods. One of the coolest things about the Everglades, again, because this is a factory installed option, is the snorkel. Not only is it a snorkel for water, but it's also for like dusty or dirty conditions if you happen to find yourself out in the desert. And you can actually just switch these plates around if you need airflow from the back side versus the front side.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And part of this is the fact that the Everglades has a wading depth of like 36.4 inches, which is around 3 inches deeper than any other Bronco can do. That's not just the snorkel that provides that. It's the fact that both of the transfer cases as well as the differential, they have different venting locations, allowing them to be completely submerged underwater.
And because it's a black diamond, just remember we have all of the off-road stuff, you know, bash plates, rock rails. Looking under this thing, it sure looks like it can take one heck of a beating. And my goodness, this thing just looks like it can take a beating from every angle you look at it. I think this is the most aggressive looking Bronco that's on the market, right behind the Raptor. Like, everything about it looks menacing, looks like it's ready for off-road. All of that stuff coming standard on this thing is super cool. Like the standard snorkel, the winch, that big modular bumper. This thing is so cool going down the road.
The beating doesn't end on the exterior. It also continues to the interior, meaning the Bronco can take a beating. And that's because you have the like marine grade vinyl seats that you would find in like the Badlands, right? And you also have that rubber floor. So if you get things a little wet, you can just have the obvious drain plugs pull out here and just wash everything right out. Before we move on from the interior, let's not forget that we have the specific door sills that say 1966, and again, have some fun mountains on there to take in. And when you look at the back seats of the Everglades, you'll see kind of the netting, or it's not necessarily netting, it's all like plastic engraved, but to hang your gear back there.
It's crazy to me, like looking at this Everglades and all of the standard features that it comes with, and knowing that the price point that you could get one of these at. Now, the price point fell between the Wild Track and the Badlands, so it's kind of interesting to me, like the amount of standard features that are on here when it comes to an off-road segment, and just how like affordable this thing was, in the sense where it was still cheaper than the Wild Track. It was nowhere near like the Heritage or even the Raptor. It's crazy. This thing's awesome for the price point that they were at.
The most unique thing there is the rarity of it. So the one that's in today's video had an MSRP in 23 of $58,000. That is, our Wild Track had an MSRP of $64,000. So we're talking a $6,000 difference between this and our Wild Track. Obviously, there are some differences. Make sure you check out our video comparing the difference between the Wild Track and the Badlands. I think Austin's probably going to do something like put it up in the corner here for you guys to easily see that once you get done watching this video.
This is totally just my personal opinion, but I think that if a Bronco at some point down the road, at some point in the future, is going to appreciate in value, my assumption is this is the trim that's going to do it. And now you may wonder, did just nobody want this thing? Why are they so rare? Why did nobody decide to purchase a Bronco Everglades? Well, actually, all of the Bronco Everglades got purchased. But the thing about the Bronco Everglades is that if you were to go onto Ford's website, you would notice that you cannot order one of these. It was not allowed for a customer to order one. Now, I don't have the exact details on how Ford decided which dealers randomly got allocated an Everglades, but they were not a customer ordered option. These were like specific, like Ford gives this dealer that, and that's ultimately how the Everglades came to be. So if you have any more information on that, I'm kind of curious what you have to say about it down in the comments below. But as far as that I could read online, that's why there were so few of these ever built.
It's really been fun being able to see the Everglades. We've officially checked out every single trim of Bronco outside of the Heritage on one of our videos. We've seen the Raptors, we've seen the Badlands, we've seen the Big Bend, we've seen the Base. We've checked them all out. We've driven them on the Bronco Off-Road Rodeo. I'm pretty sure we're almost Bronco experts. At least we're working our way there. Maybe we'll just buy this one. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for tuning into the video today on Performance on Wheels. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to support this father-son team. We'll see you next time.